So someone was talking to us about like just like awkward dumb relationship stuff that happened, like failed relationship stuff, and then Jacob called me out because I said something like it be like that sometimes, and Jacob was like, that does not apply to you.
It was like someone being like, you just got to go through all these terrible men, essentially, and Asia being like, it be like that sometimes, full knowing she's been with her man her whole life, basically. Hi, besties. I'm Faith OK.
And I'm Asia the girl.
Welcome to OK Girl.
Welcome back. Oh
Episode 23.
23. It's kind of crazy because I don't want to start on a downer, but we are going to be taking a break soon.
Yeah, I'm
not
sorry,
yet,
guys.
but I want to prepare your
We
hearts.
need a little space.
Mm-hmm.
It's not you, it's us.
I can imagine Tori listening to this and crying already. I'm sorry.
So sorry, Tori. Like I said, it's not you, it's us. We just, need some space to really find out who we are and grow. And I think it'll be better for us on the other end, on the other side. I promise.
This will be good for both of us.
Yeah. And feel free, pursue other podcasts in the summer. Just come back to us.
Yes, please.
We'll come back to you.
If wait, what is the saying? If you love something, let it go, and and if it comes back, it's always meant to be. It's always yours. Something like that.
Hey,
I believe
let
we're
us
always
go.
yours. Yeah,
and we'll be back.
I promise.
Just like what every boyfriend's probably ever told you. But we
mean it.
Yeah. No trauma there, I promise.
It's fine. Wait, hold on. I have a bonus story that just reminded me.
Bonus story?
So someone was talking to us about like just like awkward dumb relationship stuff that happened, like failed relationship stuff, and then Jacob called me out because I said something like it be like that sometimes, and Jacob was like, that does not apply to you.
It was like someone being like, you just got to go through all these terrible men, essentially, and Asia being like, it be like that sometimes, full knowing she's been with her man her whole life, basically. It's been the one man.
What can I say?
Hey, you had a good head on your shoulders.
It's true.
You spotted him, snatched him, and that was your man.
It's true.
You knew.
Sometimes when you know, you know.
Yeah, when you know, you know. Some of us, it took a little bit of time. That's okay.
Yeah. What a great start to this.
One day we'll have a lore episode.
Oh, yes. We gotta make that happen. That could be our, like,
big return,
yes.
or a big out.
Oh. You tell us.
Our big breakup is just about breakups. It's
would
just
actually
me
be so
talking
funny.
the whole time.
I'm just like, literally, I'll just be like, it be like that sometimes.
You're just my therapist.
Yeah.
Taking notes. Yeah, this one time I got dumped on Thanksgiving. True story. Teaser for you.
Oh.
Been dumped on a couple holidays.
Holiday trauma. Wait, no, I like that for the final episode of the season.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
A breakup.
So fun.
And then we'll come back with all of our other lore.
Yeah, there you go.
Big comeback.
There you go.
Yeah, what we've come back from.
Yes. Oh, see,
we're
all ready to go. We're ready for you.
We understand why you guys love us.
We do. We get it. I get the hype, you know?
I do get the hype.
But anyways, I don't want to like make you all fret. I just want to prepare your hearts because that's not going to be until the end of the month. We still got a few more. Few more Tuesdays
I think we'll
left.
Have, what, 3, 4?
Yeah.
More
and one is a special one that.
Yeah.
I don't know if we probably won't tell you yet, but it'll be special. It'll be so fun. You have to wait and see.
You're gonna love it though. We'll be done at the end of May, right?
Yes.
That's so. You won't have us for June, July, and August. Is that what we decided? We'll be back in September.
Yeah. That's the plan.
Summer break, baby.
Because I just needed a little bit of time to pop out a baby and then
super cash.
Just
get her on out.
Get her,
and she'll be back better than ever.
Yeah. Get her settled in.
But 3 months means that you have 12 weeks without us, roughly. And that means that you could listen to 2 episodes that we've already released a week.
That's true.
And then you'll be ready.
It's true.
Maybe 2 to 3 episodes a week. But then you'll be caught up and we'll be back.
It's true.
You won't even know we were gone.
The beautiful thing.
You'll realize that this is also a great break period for you to grow. And
Well,
miss us.
let us help you.
Distance makes the heart grow fonder.
It's
bestie.
true. Mm-hmm.
Other than breaking up with all of our viewers, what have you been up to lately?
Well, I am really excited. I am slowly recording some stuff for some vlogs.
What?
So I'm excited.
This
The
is
vlogs
news
are coming
to me.
back. Yes, the vlogs are coming back. So my plan was to like bring back the vlogs when we start working on the nursery upstairs and all the like home decor projects that kind of like domino effect because of building that out. And but we kind of hit a snag with not a snag, but whatever. We're waiting on HVAC to do their thing before we can keep going. So to keep myself from getting stir crazy, I'm like starting with like some small DIY projects. So I was like, actually that's a fun way to start back up the vlogs. So I worked on like a Ghibli mobile, and it was so cute. I still haven't showed it to you yet in person.
I know.
Yeah. I started that yesterday, and I'm working on some like clay letters with the base of the letters are the letters that you guys got for the shower.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to be making a Sit Sprite garland out of decor that you and eva had made for the shower as well. So I'm like really excited to do all these little projects to kind of like help me pass the time and get my mind off of I'm like just really like I'm like,
so
please.
you're not feeling the waiting.
Yeah, exactly. Like please let this be done in time. Like I'm just hoping that it's also done by May or before June, I guess. So I'm excited to get vlogging and get back to like video editing and stuff because it's been several months. It's been like since October, so I'm excited. Yeah,
That's exciting.
So,
One day I'll edit the stuff that I've recorded.
I mean, all of your TikToks are super cute, though. Your Vacations by Faith TikTok's so cute.
Yeah, I guess that's a fun thing I can update on.
Yeah.
I started posting on TikTok for my like vacation. I'm not even really so I've been doing a travel agent thing for a while. I've actually had a couple people that I'm like in the works planning for.
Nice.
But I really am just like posting to TikTok to just post Disney and Universal influencer type of things more. And I'm having so much fun.
People are loving it.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like at 800 followers.
That's
and I
awesome.
started like earlier this month. And I'm like, this is so great. I
That's
love
so
this.
good.
Maybe one day it'll pay off and I'll get some fun Disney things out of it. But
That'd be great.
yeah, it's fun. It's been fun to do. But I have started throwing files into DaVinci to start putting vlogs together. But
good for you.
I just have so many interests that I can't ever commit to one fully enough.
Just a variety, girl. It's okay.
I'll come back around to it. They'll get posted before, hopefully. Well, they'll get edited, hopefully, before my next trip, maybe.
We'll see.
At least one of them.
Yeah.
1 of 5 or so.
That's a good, like, goal.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What else have I been up to? We had Easter last week.
Yeah.
And our church was decorated beautifully.
Oh, my gosh. So stunning.
Like, the best it's ever looked. They left it up for this Sunday, and I was like, man, this is so good.
I know.
If only it was permanent.
I know. I'm hoping that I don't know if they will leave it up, but they have like these really pretty like fabric swag like stuff on
like
the ceiling.
Draped.
It's so pretty, and I kind of hope they keep that.
Yeah.
It feels like more inconvenient.
I saw
for them to
someone
take it
walking
down.
by with decoration boxes, so I'm thinking probably not. But maybe they just took the flowers. Maybe. But Easter was great. There are 3 services, and I sang during worship, which was a lot of fun.
She killed it. Someone said she sounded like an angel.
Bruh, some lady commented on Facebook and was like, I just thought this must be what it's like when the angels sing in heaven, and I cried when I read the comment. I literally sobbed sitting there
so sweet.
at my desk. I was like, stop, I don't deserve this. But
you do though.
it was fun singing 5 songs 3 times.
It's a lot.
Well, 4 times because of rehearsal that day.
Right.
So 20 songs, back to back.
That's a lot of songs.
A lot, and I didn't know what that would be like, but it was fun. And we got our annual picture with our young adult group.
We managed to get almost
everybody was there.
Yeah.
It's very hard to coordinate with how many people we have now.
I know. It's true.
Last life update, and this one's big and serious.
Yes.
Very big and serious. I have been freaking obsessed with this stupid Winnie the Pooh blind box that I saw Miniso post about on TikTok. And it's kind of like a pendant blind box keychain thing. So it's similar to like a Labubu or like just like Pop Mart things that they make. It's made by Top Toy, if anybody is really into blind boxes and knows what I'm talking about. Anyways, it's like Winnie the Pooh's face is like a vinyl, like acrylic hard piece. And then he's just a plushy teddy bear around him. And I'm so obsessed. And the blind box is like Miniso only. You can't get it anywhere else. So I've been like, I'm just going to go to Miniso and look. I went to Miniso. I've been to Miniso twice in the past like week to 2 weeks. Being like, do you have these? And I finally asked this time and they were like, we've been trying, girl. Like, I want one too, but they won't give them to us. And I was like, this is ridiculous.
I don't like this Miniso hierarchy that they've got going on.
I guess I just need to spend more money at Miniso and then I'll get the things that I want. I'm here to save the Louisville store of Miniso.
I'm here to do my part.
It's good for the economy. But I've been obsessed with it. And then I was like, you know what? If I can't have the real thing, that's fine. I'll just buy it on eBay. I'll buy a freaking stupid fake one. I don't care. I just want a cute... Because my idea is that I want to clip it to my, like, crossbody bag.
So cute.
So he's hanging out with me when I go to Animal Kingdom and I'm wearing my Winnie the Pooh headband.
He's so precious.
And I'm just going to keep him on my bag all the time.
Yeah.
Like my tote bag and everything. Just every day.
Yeah.
He's with me. And so I was like, I just want one. I don't care. Then I looked on eBay and they were all like, well, okay, here's the problem. Miniso does not have an online store on their website.
Right.
You have to get it in the store. Our store doesn't have it. So then I was like, I'll buy it on eBay. eBay, I'm talking, it's not getting here until June. And I was like, I don't have that time.
No.
I'm on a time crunch.
Right.
I'm going to Disney on May 22nd. I gotta have Winnie the Pooh by then. So I saw that they were selling it on TikTok Shop. And it's like, we leave for Florida May 17th. And it's estimated to arrive by May 16th.
I believe that's just the far end of...
Yeah. It says like May 9th through 16th, which is a big
They're just
gap.
covering their bases, you know?
Yeah. And so I ordered it last night, laying in bed. It was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night after we had watched You for so long. And then I'm laying in bed and I'm like, Nick, I just have to buy it. It's like eating away at me. And so I bought it. And so we'll see if it gets here in time. TikTok does have a thing where it's like, if you don't get this by your expected delivery date, you get like a discount on your next purchase.
Oh, that's nice.
So that makes me think they have to be hitting that. Because there's no way they're just giving out discounts all the time.
I haven't ordered a ton from TikTok, but what I have ordered, I always felt like it came faster than...
That's what I feel like. Yeah. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on my Winnie the Pooh. But I also wanted to buy him quickly in case tariffs and customs and everything is a disaster.
I know. That'll be fun.
Yay.
So good for you. That was very responsible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, big and responsible of me to buy that Winnie the Pooh.
Absolutely.
But yeah, hopefully he'll be on his way soon and I'll have him clipped to all of my bags. Yeah.
So cute. The perfect addition.
Yes, he'll be so cute. All right. Any other updates from you?
That's it.
Cool.
That's all I got.
All right. So today we're Typemaxxing for a second time.
Yeah.
If you're unfamiliar with the Enneagram, I recommend that you stop this video right now or this podcast right now and you scroll way back in our library. And by way back, I mean like 15 to 20
episodes. I feel like wasn't it like our third episode or something?
Yeah. So, whoa, we're on 23. Exactly 20 episodes ago.
Gosh.
We talked about the Enneagram. And it's called Typemaxxing. And so listen to that and you'll know more about us and the Enneagram and everything. But our church recently has been like diving back into Enneagram after some time away from it. And so
taking like a step further or like application wise.
Yeah, a little bit less of who are you and more of like now what do you do
what are we doing here?
Who you are. And just like, so we did like a class on contemplative disciplines. I say contemplative. I think in the class they called it contemplative. I feel like I heard them say contemplative.
Maybe.
Whatever.
Sure.
We're contemplating on some disciplines.
We are.
So that was kind of the class idea. So we figured, why not just talk about it?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the class a little bit, and then we'll talk about what we got out of it, what we've learned, or like what was good for us, not good for us, whatever. So if you're looking for Enneagram info, and also what the heck do you do now, especially if you're a Christian,
like
and
spiritual
trying to
disciplines,
use,
kind of.
yeah. If you're trying to figure out like, I know my Enneagram type and I'm struggling to be connected with the Lord, we got you, bestie.
Yeah, we do.
Welcome.
We have all the answers right here.
All of them. You'll never need anything else.
It's true.
Oh, okay. I guess we can start with like, the class was kind of broken in. We did 3 sessions.
Yeah, it was a quick class.
It was. Yeah. It was really quick. And it was kind of broken into the triads. So if you're not familiar, there's head, heart, head, gut triad. And that's just kind of like, what part of your body
like
do you kind of
drives,
decision
yeah,
make or
exactly.
drives you? Yeah, that's a good way to put it. So like, what drives you? Is it your heart? Is it your head? Is it your gut? And so we kind of split the classes into those 3. Both of us are in the gut triad.
We're gut girlies.
Gut girlies. That's why we're lactose intolerant.
It's true.
My gut told me don't eat ice cream, and I'm gonna do it anyways.
Yeah, you know.
But yeah, so we'll probably end up focusing maybe more on that, but we're gonna talk about the other ones too. So
because they all were helpful for sure.
They were, yeah. So the 3 were with heart triad. It was solitude and silence as a practice, and then the head triad had contemplative prayer, or contemplative prayer, if you prefer.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it was contemplative.
I think so.
Wow.
You know what? Who cares? It's our podcast.
It reads the same. Yeah.
We're contemplating in prayer. That's for the head triad. So I should have said heart triad, 2 3s and 4s, right? Yes. Head triad, 5 6 7, and then in the gut triad, 8 9 1, is contemplative or contemplative reading.
Yes.
So those are kind of the things
that we like.
And we'll just kind of like talk about. We don't have a super structured thing today.
Just kind of like our reflections on everything.
Yap about the sessions, what we got out of it, all that good stuff. So
yeah. I mean, I think a good intro to the class when they were kind of just like, you know, like giving foundation to like, what are we talking about? Like, what are these practices for? Or whatever. Our pastor was like, gave a really good illustration of, or just like, I don't know, helped you identify with this feeling more of, you know, as specifically as like believers, there can be truths that are like, you know, to be true, like God provides, God is faithful, like all of these things that like, you know, are true based off of like his word. But as you like deal with life stuff, it's kind of that nuance of like, you may be really struggling with anxiety about something, or like debilitating guilt, or all these things, and you know that those truths are true and like valid, but like there's still like a disconnect. And that's kind of like where these practices help you bridge that gap. He talks about I probably should have brought my notes in here, but the they're like more, was overt the word, like explicit, that's what it was, like explicit truths and like the implicit experience of believers. And like that, especially as you grow and you're like a Christian for longer periods of time, sometimes you can feel, you know, people always talk about like, I have the season where I feel like, you know, God's like silent, or like I don't feel anything, or I'm just kind of going through the motion, and you're being faithful, but you're like, I don't know, like nothing's really happening. And I think that's like an experience that a lot of us go through. Like it happens sooner than others. And like oftentimes it's like, when you've been a believer for longer, you have like absorbed a lot of like doctrinal truths, and like you're like the like basis, the like theological basis of your faith has like become like really strong, but you're just like experiencing life and like struggling with being like jaded, or, you know, just like navigating and doing mini deconstructions, I'm sure, like all of that stuff, so this just like all speaks to that, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. And there was also, he like drew for us as like a visual thing to think about it as also like an iceberg, like with having explicit the standard iceberg drawing that's used for literally everything of like above the water are the things we see, so those are like the explicit things of like it could even be things that like you struggle with or whatever, but are just like easier to deal with. So like you can easily say I have anxiety, and that could be an explicit thing. But then under the surface, when you're in the lower iceberg, maybe there's deeper down a chunk of the iceberg is the reason or the thing that started all of your anxiety. And so kind of just being able to make those things explicit, or even just like just drawing attention so that you can know, oh, the reason that I'm feeling this is not just because I have anxiety. It's because my like parents were not, you know, like present enough at this point in my life, or you know, whatever it is.
Just gives context to what you're
to
dealing
like
with,
to give you more context personally. So I thought it was really interesting just to like also take it as a thing of dig deeper than just like just taking
the Lord
what
says be
is
anxious for
on the surface.
nothing. So stop being anxious.
Just stop.
Just
be better.
Yeah,
and it's
exactly.
Like, okay, yeah,
whatever you say.
So and the idea is not like that these things are going to heal you of these things necessarily, but it's more so just like the awareness of it can make them more manageable and can make like your relationship with God stronger through being able to label those things.
You like sense the Lord's presence in the midst of all that stuff you're going through, like more just because you become more aware of your surroundings beneath the surface of the iceberg. There was like a good example that he gave that was just like or like an analogy. It was like not analogy, illustration, where, you know, say a husband has like a gambling problem and he gambles and he lies about it to his wife, and then she finds out and she asks him why, and like obviously the answer is not like, oh, I just wanted to lie to you, I just wanted to hurt you. It's like, you know, because I was afraid. And then it's kind of like just asking those questions, like, what are you actually afraid of? Like, is it like is there shame there, and what is like, where is the shame, like why are you like distancing yourself from like community, what, you know, in these like moments of weakness? And it's just like asking those questions instead of just like, like obviously lying's bad, then you should like repent of that, but like what, like let's think about like why did we do that.
So instead of fixing like a symptom of the disease, so let's treat the disease instead rather than the symptom.
Exactly.
So yeah, I feel like I mean, for me, so I guess we can just start with solitude and silence.
Sure.
Like for me, that one was not too difficult, I don't think. Like I'm very comfortable with like sitting in silence, being still, just kind of reflecting, especially not having any guidance with it, because like for the first class we talked about what is the heart's triads question? It's like who or where.
Who am I?
Is it who am I? So it's like who am I, and so like the challenge,
like what defines who I am.
And so the challenge was like, instead of, because like the heart triad is like trying to define who they are and like work towards figuring those things out, the challenge was like just go and be quiet and listen, instead of trying to like strive for fixing or being or whatever, like just let the Lord come to you kind of thing. And so I don't know, that's just not, I think because it's something I do practice of just like, let me just sit and be still and kind of listen. I don't think that one was like necessarily challenging, but also probably not the most fruitful for me. I think it was just kind of like okay, I'll vibe.
So basically it was be silent and be curious about essentially like whatever pops in your head. Like note it, don't like kind of like go down those rabbit holes. Just kind of like ping pong around. Give yourself time to do that. Don't make it just like a quick thing if you know have the time to do it. I feel like for me it was I don't know. It's because of ADHD. I honestly was thinking that when I was in the quiet time, I was like, I feel like this is my life anyways. I'm like, oh yeah, I thought that.
I'm always contemplating. Yeah, boy.
Got this on
There's
lock.
always a conversation in my head. Yeah, maybe that is it. Yeah, because I think a lot of times too within Christianity, there's this shame for being distracted, or just hey, just lock in and then you'll be a good Christian. Right, and it's but I can't lock in, brother. I cannot lock in.
Sorry to tell you.
And so and I also think part of it was working with youth ministry, we deal with distractedness a lot. Yeah. And we always tell the kids hey, it's okay to not it's okay for you to in your head you're trying to think about a single verse of the Bible and then your brain goes somewhere. Yeah, right. Listen to that and see what it's telling you instead of being hey, focus. Yeah. And so maybe we are just good at that because we're ADHD and we're let me just follow the rabbit down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
and we'll see.
Because I thought it was an enjoyable experience. I know a lot of people in the class. There's no shame, by the way, for however you respond to this. If you try and that's at home, if you didn't have the same reaction to me and Faith, there's nothing wrong with that
I
at all.
promise we'll get into it later. I had some rough ones, okay?
Because there were some people in the class that were they would just thought about how tense they were or whatever, and it was cool that they brought that up because our pastor was what let's be curious about that, you were more aware of that, what could that mean, and you just basically how's the Lord using all of your senses and all of your surroundings and all the things that are coming through and out of your head to is ultimately draw you closer to him, and sometimes that can be through discomfort and stuff. So it was just really interesting, but for me I was just that was kind of a really positive experience for me. I was kind of loving it,
which the point of it too is that these are labeled to each triad and it's gonna be a challenge for people in that triad. So this one not being our triad was
a very low,
cool, I'll go.
Low heart scores.
Yeah. My 3 is high. So
that's right. Yeah.
That part of me, I guess, I will say I left it and I didn't feel this deep, profound moment, which is I'm learning to be okay with, learning to understand hey, it's okay to not always be a philosopher when you leave a time with the Lord. Right. But I think my 3 is high in the sense of achieving, and so I did come out of it being a little bit well, it was good, but I feel relaxed and in touch with the Lord, but I also didn't feel I got something out of it, which is not always the point either. Right. Sometimes the point is literally just to be at peace next to the Lord, that sort of thing.
It's true.
Yeah.
The one growth moment I had, I feel in that session was, I remember because we were talking about this afterwards, after this class, and then I think the next class, it was very funny. We just randomly decided to go get ice cream and then came back to my place, and the first night was with the pastor that was that was leading the class, and we were just talking about, I don't know, childhood trauma and all silly things, everything between, just eating ice cream. It was so fun. But I was kind of recounting my experience during that hangout, and the one thing that I feel me being a 9 and just the way that I'm wired, I felt it was an of the Lord thought and not of me, which was really cool, because it's just not even the way I talk to myself in my brain. But I remember just being curious, just trying to be curious about random things that pop in my head, and I was thinking of different people and experiences and being really thankful for the opportunity to, especially people that we've met through this church, the opportunity to be a part of their lives, and the just being thankful that the Lord let our lives intersect and be able to do life together. And then at some point during that 20 minutes or however long it was, it kind of flipped, and I was wait a minute, that's also the case for me. I'm really grateful that other people can experience me in the same way that I'm grateful for the opposite. So that was like a really cool moment for me, because I was like, whoa, that's not comfortable language for me to talk to myself about. So yeah, it was cool.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to go to the next one?
Sure.
So contemplative prayer
Mm-hmm.
was basically, I can't remember the exact question, but there was hardly anything. We were like, basically the idea is that this one was for head.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that
asked the question, like, where am I?
Yes. Yeah. And so like, and just like typically a lot of their thinking and a lot of everything is like very analytical,
mm-hmm.
very like, you would probably think like books are
mm-hmm.
more so their vibe. So like a deep study of the Bible
or deep dives into Reddit subreddits.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
All the things. Yeah. Just lots of like information is what they want. And so the idea of this one was that like you would simply like go to a quiet spot, same thing, about 20 minutes, and instead of silence, it was more of like check in with yourself, like, and then
Form
in a
simple,
sentence or two, like summarize to the Lord what you need, and like tell him, and then ask to hear from him or for him to show you something. And so that way it wasn't you praying for everything that your head could think of that you need, or for you to like keep seeking out information. It was just like an invitation for the Lord to like help you how you need to be helped.
And it's like basically trying to combat like the head triad in different ways, depending on what type, tend to, in a pursuit of like knowledge and understanding, they stay in that space and don't actually experience like, if for example, like if they're wanting to understand like what it means to live in community, you like spend a lot of time thinking and like finding resources about like how to be in community well, like what is the theology of being community, like all of that, like fill in the blank. But then they like just stay in that space and they don't actually like enter into it. And so this was kind of like an invitation, like be with the Lord, bring what you like, be vulnerable, like bring what you actually need, like don't just like stay up here, like actually like verbalize something, but like not in a way that is like over analytical.
I think this was the best one for me, the one that I was most like, I should do this more, which it's still not my triad. So like that was the thing though, it's like, like these are all like we can all do them, we all have the different Enneagram types, we all present them differently, so try the tools. And so this one for me was like great. It was the one that like I think was most impactful for me. Like I think normally for me my like time with the Lord is normally me trying to like do a deep study of the Bible, just because like that's just what I thought I had to do for most of my life, so I'm just gonna keep doing it. And so this one was like interesting for me to like actually reflect on what am I feeling, what am I needing, and in that moment like I was very caught up in like, am I doing the right thing, am I like in the right place, job wise, life wise, whatever the case. And like it was kind of crazy. I like sobbed afterwards and like could not even try to like, I was like struggling to verbalize to Nick, but like just praying to the Lord of like, am I in the right place? Am I doing the right thing? Just show me. And I just kept begging, like, show me, like I just need to see. And like I thought I was just like fell asleep and was dreaming because I was like, hold on, am I asleep? But like I felt like the Lord had showed me like images of Nick and I with our like a future kid, which is something that we always like are thinking about and just like always try. That's like why we're preparing and worrying about where we are. Is like, will this be the right step for a family in the future? Is this going to take me away from a family in the future? That sort of thing. And so for the Lord to just be like, hey, it like stop, like look at this, was like really crazy. And I've never had an experience like that.
That's
like
so
I've
wild.
Never seen visually anything, I feel like, or anything like that. It was interesting too because in the class the pastor had said something like literally imagine, or it might have been just in the text of the of the paper, but it was like imagine like literally sitting in a place physically next to Jesus, and like imagine that what that space looks like and put yourself there. And so for me I was like, like, oh, let me just like, I love a coffee shop, so let me picture me and Jesus like sitting on a couch in a coffee shop and just talking, and what would that look like for me to listen. And so that was just really nothing I had ever considered before. I feel like I always think of like, I think less of Jesus as like, even though the whole point is Jesus was human and fully man, fully God, but like I struggle with like seeing him as like human in the moment with me as a human.
Like he was when he was on earth, and now he's not. Yeah.
And so like a lot of times I'm just like, when I read the Bible or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, Jesus was human. That's it. He was. But like to think about me and him, both humans sitting somewhere, was like perspective changing.
That's awesome.
So that was a good one.
I don't know if it's because I have like a high 5 or whatever. I have a very high 5. This was like a harder like practice for me, for sure. I have a hard time like knowing what I need a lot of times. And so I felt like that the first bit of like just checking in with yourself and like, you know, just like, can you articulate something that you need, was like, I was like hung up on that for a while. And it was like I kept feeling, and I was trying to be like curious about it still and like not be ashamed of it, but like I kept feeling the need to be like, oh, like Luke and I need this, or like this, you know, group that I'm associated with needs this, instead of like stripping back just down to like being like as vulnerable as possible. And so it was a good challenge for me to be like, oh, interesting that this is like not comfortable for me. And like, I mean, I know I'm a confusing person. I don't like read this way. I am like self-aware enough of this, but like in my heart of hearts, like sometimes I feel like I'm a robot, or I'm like like I don't know, like I can and this can go back to like childhood stuff or whatever, but like I can easily disassociate with like, if I do need something, like that's like not, it feels like not helpful to be aware of that in this moment, because I just like need everything else that's going on to like go smoothly, and like I don't have time to like you know address like whatever stuff that I have, even if it's like small to me or whatever, you know. And so that was like pretty challenging for me. So it was a good thing to like struggle through that. Like I think that like helped me like know more of like my blind spots, as for sure. So I've been like trying to like kind of lean into that practice more, like since the class has been done, just to be like, interesting, let's just camp there and like be okay with the discomfort, and just see like just be curious about like how the Lord like needs to be there. So so odd.
Then the last one was our triad.
For our gut girlies.
Our gut girlies. So that one was contemplative reading, which
you
had a
hard time
so
with that
much. But before we get into that,
yeah,
I'll explain. So like the idea, gut triad is what is our question?
Wait,
who am I? Where am I?
What? Why can I think?
Hold on, maybe I have it written.
Wait, this is embarrassing. I know. Okay, so it does with guilt, okay, but I can't think of like the question form of that. Where, who, oh no, who, where, it's not why. I'm thinking of the Spy Kids song.
I don't have it written down, but I know it's like a weird one. It's like off from the normal.
So it's not like
a who, what, where.
Oh, okay. Who am I? Where am I?
Is it like how am I doing?
Oh, maybe.
I think it's how am I doing.
Okay, maybe so. That would make sense. That's, I mean, the gut thing.
I think so.
No.
Well, I promise we pay attention in these classes.
We do.
I don't have my notes with me. That's part of the thing. But, the idea of this one was that, like, so contemplative reading was, like, you're just going to go pick a passage, a random one.
Right.
Read it.
Yeah.
And then just kind of, like, reflect silently on it.
Yes. Yeah, basically. Like, it's like you just do it in rounds. Like,
yeah. You read it through once, and then you sit. And then you think about, like, a word.
And it's like in contrast to like exegetical reading, like you're not, it's so weird because it's like so backwards to like
Mm-hmm.
what if you or at all like versed in like Bible study or like training to like be a scholarly like reader of scripture, like instead of necessarily so focused on like the context and all of that, like all these things that you're like trying to do, you're trying to like put yourself into the story, which is like different for sure.
Yeah.
Which you had fun with, I'm sure.
Bruh. Yeah, so I'm trying to think of like the tie-in from, I think it is How Am I Doing?
I think you're right. That sounds right.
Yeah. But like, yeah, so
you can add us, it's fine.
Huh?
I said they can add us.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, you don't know what you're talking about.
We don't know what we're talking about. No. No, so the idea though is like seeing yourself in it and also being comfortable with like not knowing everything or knowing like all the answers about the passage, like not having the study of it, which was like so difficult for me. I hated that. Like, so yeah, like I said, normally when I'm studying the Bible, I use a study Bible. I love a footnote. I love an underline and highlight. I love a commentary also on a screen nearby at all times. Like, I love to, because I want to make sure I know the answers and I want to make sure that I am doing good and am like knowing what I'm reading. And so it started out too with just like, pick a passage.
Yeah.
That took me so long. It made me so angry that I didn't just have a passage given to me. I was like, what if I pick the wrong one? Like, which gets at the how am I doing? Like, am I doing good? Am I doing the right thing? Am I picking the right passage? And so I like sat down and I was like, what the heck is this? And I ended up just picking a psalm because I was like, who cares? A psalm is short. That's fine. And then I read the psalm and I was like, there's nothing to get out of this. I was like,
what am I doing here?
So grumpy about the whole thing. And like, I do need to lean into that more of like, just read something and think about it. The thing that I noticed about myself was that like, one, the passage wasn't given, which really frustrated me. And that's not me saying they should have given us the passage. That's me reading myself. That's me being like, girl, just get over it and pick a passage. But like, so that was part of it. And then the other part was like, I don't have any tool to understand. Which gets at the point, which was to put yourself into it.
Yeah.
Not a commentary.
Yeah.
And so I was like reading through. And I can't even remember what psalm I picked. I want to say it was like 137. I don't know. 127. Anyways, I just remember it, basically, I read it, and then I was like, there's nothing of substance here. It's pointless. I don't even know why I picked this one. I should have picked a better one. And really, I was just, like, avoiding putting myself in, like, I think the one I read was basically, like, David kind of calling out the fact that, like, people say one thing, act another way, or, like, act one way, think another thing. And so I was, like, sitting there hating the idea that like I am a person that like says something out loud, but then in my head I'm thinking something differently, which as an 8 is like on brand to be like, as a an 8 learning self-awareness. It's like I am getting better about not just saying everything that I think judgment wise, but I am still judging in my head, and I need to check myself on that. And so that's kind of like the psalm. The psalm was literally like, hey, stop being the type of person that says one thing and thinks another. Just like align them. Yeah. And so I was angry about the whole session. Funny. And I realized, if anybody's familiar with like Lectio Divina, that's kind of like what the premise of this is, like reading a passage over and over and picking a word and then thinking about a feeling and then applying it to yourself. And I have the Lectio Divina app that I use, and I love the app. And I realized you were just doing that. I realized it's because the app picks the passage for me, and there are people that talk in between that talk about the scripture, like what it is, and so it like
it's like
is this
like training wheels
but
of
less
that.
personal.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's just me struggling with vulnerability again. Amazing.
Noted.
So yeah, I hated this one. And I need to be better about it, but
that's okay.
I'm gonna have to press into it.
Yeah.
I
I believe in you.
Because I don't want to. But I will one day.
I really liked this one. It was good. Though I will say I don't think I was cheating. I was just like, oh, this is a good way to pick a random passage. I just picked the psalm from the daily Bible reading, like for the day. That day. Bruh. I just was like, oh, let's do this one. And so I picked that.
Such a better idea. I would have felt so much more secure in my choice if I was like, this is from the daily Bible reading.
So I was just like, okay, I'll pick that one. I forget what the psalm was, like the number, but basically it was someone struggling with just the current events of that time and like really like pleading to the Lord. And it was like an interesting, like the voice was like, so this group of people or this just like third party is speaking to the person that is in like that's struggling, and is like encouraging them like, hey, like remember that like the Lord will provide. And then also like he was like this person or group of people were like anticipating like the way that the Lord would provide for them, and like they were like excited to like celebrate with them as like the Lord like brings everything to fruition or whatever. And that was like really good. I don't know, like I think with everything going on with the baby on the way, Luke and I've been having like really like good and hard conversations about like trusting in God's provision, and like what does it look like for God to provide. What are the because Luke and I are both 9s and both like struggle with guilt. Like what is like what guilt are we internalizing when we think like we should be showing up in a specific way as like a spouse or like as a parent or as a friend, whatever. And like is that image we have like of the Lord or of us or whatever. And basically like as we do those, or as we succumb to guilt in these different ways, like just identifying like how isolating like we allow ourselves to be in the midst of that. And so the phrase that really like popped up to, I gotta like, actually find the passage because it was actually super helpful, but the phrase about like the people around you like wanting to celebrate with you was like a good challenge of like, those people will not know that if you are like not open with them about the things that you're going through. Like how can they rally for you or encourage you like like when you're in times of struggle if you aren't like open? And so I don't know, I think it was just like a very timely thing of like you were like kind of in the throes of that. So that was like a really cool line that I don't know if I would have like necessarily caught if I wasn't like thinking in this way. So so I liked it.
I love that you liked it. I love that for you.
But we all have our things. Mine was the contemplative prayer.
Yeah.
But
that's okay.
Yeah. I believe in us.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get better about not relying on a commentary and a study Bible. I mean
the irony that we're joking about like actually being like avoiding or whatever stuff. Yes, but like the cool thing about this class was just like, hey, these are things to like implement into your walk, or like suggestions to like implement these like practices into your walk. And it's not supposed to be like this like, oh, you did it like every week or at whatever cadence, oh, you get gold stars and that means you're doing better. Like that's like defeats the whole purpose of what it is.
It was overall like I really enjoyed it because I do think like I've been a Christian. I mean, I was baptized at like 12, so it's been 13 years. And like doing something for 13 years is like, okay, I'll just keep doing the thing I've always done and whatever. But like for me, I've always felt so it's like it's hard because I feel like a lot of times it's like, just read your Bible more. Read your Bible more. Right. And I'm like, I can only do this so much
I know
more.
Exactly.
Like, I'm losing my mind reading this. Like, I start and then I can't finish the book, or like I don't.
You're like, you feel like you're not getting out anything out of it.
Yeah, or my notes aren't pretty enough or good enough or whatever. And it's like, a lot of times I'm like, I'm so tired of reading the same thing over and over and still not understanding it or still not getting something.
Just like, and broods like frustration.
Yeah. And so like, it's just like a struggle to keep. I mean, I definitely have not, at least not freshly have read the entire, like, the whole Bible. And it comes from that place of like, I'm not doing it right. It's whatever, like, forget it. I've heard a sermon on it before. I'll move along. Like, I'll understand. I know Bible stories, blah, blah, blah. But like, to have fresh ideas for how to spend time with the Lord that isn't just like, sit down and spend an hour reading your Bible and take pretty calligraphy notes and like get something good out of it.
Yeah,
and so,
exactly.
Like, it was so refreshing to be told like, hey, it's okay, you don't have to read the Bible every single day. Just like spend time with the Lord.
Yeah.
Which like I really needed to hear, because
just like recenters the, like, it's just about being in a relationship with the Lord, not about like like doing all these steps to have more knowledge about him. And it's crazy because like I preach about it over and over and over to like middle school girls in our youth group of like, hey, your time with the Lord doesn't look the same as it does for everybody else. And then I'm like, but mine has to. Like, what is wrong in your with brain, me? Why am I doing that? Yeah, in my head I'm like, but you have to do it this way. So I think part of it is just like having a refreshed idea of how to spend the time, but also knowing like I am ADHD and it's hard for me to sit still and sit down and study for 32 minutes to an hour and like find a quiet moment and find a like just every single day do that. And like that's really difficult for me. And so if that means that I play an app on my phone that makes me contemplate about what the passage says, great. I heard the word of the Lord and I listened and connected somehow. So I mean, our pastor made a good point, and I think he even mentioned it in service again today, where like for a lot of church history, like Christians like didn't have access to like their own Bible, and so like if that's the case, like they wouldn't have had the same kind of guilt that we tend to have about like, oh, I haven't been reading enough or whatever. And it's like, okay, if God's word and like his promises are for everyone, that applies to the generations of believers who like did not have access to the word like that. So it was just really good.
I enjoyed the classes. Thought they were good.
So good.
But you guys will have to let us know if you try any of them.
Yes. And if any make you mad.
Yeah, or really, really excited and glad. Yeah, that's the hope, is that even if you hate one, you might love another. So, yeah, thanks for hanging with us while we blabbed and didn't remember our own triad and all the things. We figured it out in the end.
We did,
what matters.
I think. Pretty sure.
Yeah, it's how am I doing?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Because that question makes me uncomfortable, and that's how I know it's the question.
There you go. That's true. That was the whole reason why I didn't like the contemplative prayer.
Yeah, because you didn't know how you were doing.
I'm like, nah.
And I think of it as a like, am I doing good enough?
Yeah.
How am I doing? Don't ask me. I don't want to know. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, rate, review, subscribe, follow on literally every platform you could ever imagine. Except we don't use X anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not on there.
No, me neither.
It's not for us girlies.
It really isn't. I need to delete it off my phone because I still get the push notifications, and they're all just like, I literally don't care about any of these people. I really don't agree with any of these people that they're like giving me notifications. The only times I ever like open it is to be like, why do I keep getting notifications about this person? Do I accidentally follow them? And then I'll go and like, no, I don't follow them. It's just they're pushing their
That's
it's crazy.
I don't have notifications on for any social media because it was like a boundary thing for me.
Good for you.
But I only open X, and now I've started to use Threads for it more because more people are on Threads now. Shout out. But I only have opened it recently whenever we're watching like a live WWE event, and I want to see if people are also hating or loving something that I'm hating or loving. But yeah, I'm mostly on Threads now when it comes to like short form.
Yeah.
Blue Sky, I couldn't really get a great connection. I don't know. I just
know.
like, didn't really vibe with it as well as I do
In
Threads.
theory, it's cool, but
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe I'm just like not using it correctly.
Maybe.
I haven't revisited in a while.
Yeah.
The only push notifications you need are the imaginary ones from us.
Mm-hmm.
We should just make them. We'll figure it out.
We'll make a delulu, an OK Girl app
I love that.
just sends out delulu to
Yeah,
delus.
that's so good. That's so
Just
perfect.
all of yours on
I love
repeat,
that.
a daily notification.
That'd be great.
You could like pin it on your like widgets,
yes.
like lock screen.
Oh my
and stuff.
gosh, we gotta figure that out.
I don't know how to make an app, but Asia's a tech bro. So
I am a tech bro.
she'll
It's
figure it
true.
out.
I'll figure it out.
Asia's carrying this podcast on her back, bro.
No. It's a team effort for sure.
But yeah, make sure you follow us everywhere.
Please
All
do.
of that to say.
Yeah. And your delulu to do for today is, this is a practice that all of us can do.
Mm-hmm.
I just want you all to take a second, sit in your favorite cozy place, and think about, what can I shop for today? If you sometimes it's kind of like when you get asked like, oh, what do you want like for gifts, and you like don't know. How about you just take some time, check in with yourself, make your list, and then that way anytime someone asks you what you want, you are ready to go. You'll be so much more in tune with yourself. You just know yourself better, and you know what you need that will improve your daily life.
I love that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think we all need
I'm
that.
gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right after this.
Yes. Anyways, I'm Asia the Girl.
And I'm Faith OK.
See you next time, besties.
Bye.
Bye. I really need to do that. I was like inspired by like, what do I need between now and when Kiko's here?
Yeah.
And so I was like, we all need to do that.
Let's do it. Yeah.
You're like, more Labubu's, please.
More Labubu, more Winnie the Pooh Labubus.
Yes.